welcome to my channel. My name is Fari. I am a Korean culture lover, and in this episode I'm going to be discussing how I got introduced to the Korean culture, what I love most about the culture, what I would even like to learn more, and how I will be able to even influence this aspect of my favorite part of the culture. So let's get into it. How I got introduced to the Korean culture started back in 2009 when I watched the Boys Over Flower movie. Yes, it was a very viral movie nationwide in Nigeria at the time, and almost every teenagers partaking watching this movie. We even shared the discs and even shared it with our friends that could not watch. Were able to relate the stories to them. So since then I've been introduced to the culture, and I really loved it because the Korean drama really portrayed the good and positive and interesting parts of the Korean culture, and I was drawn towards the food. My attention actually caught the food aspect of the Korean culture. I am a dietitian and I really love food. I mostly, when I finish watching some of these dramas, I go back and then read about this food, and I discover that they are very much nutrient dense and they are very healthy. And I even got to know that there are some foods that you don't eat side to side because they could be poisonous if you eat them together, or even at sometimes inhibit some of the nutrients present in each other. So these food tales I've really explored a lot, and I would even like to explore more and even try some new experiences, try some recipes, try to know how to make some of them, and even food infusion. I also got to know about Korea culture from the K-pop music. Yes, I'm a fan of BTS. I'm an ARMY and these are really portray the Korean language. And it is only of note that Korean music is the dance, the rhythm, it's kind of like made for foreigners to consolidate with the music. It brings this sense of belonging, and that's exactly how I got to be introduced to the Korean culture through the music. I sometimes sing those songs without even knowing the meaning until I go back, search for the English version of the lyrics, and I sing it in English and I could sing it in Korea, and that also helped me in building my language learning processes. Social media platform also helped in shaping my thoughts about the Korean culture. I watch a lot of interviews, I watch a lot of social business on YouTube, I watch a lot of entertainment shows on KBS, and it's always feels like I'm even part of the audience and I'm laughing and I'm clapping my hands. It shaped my thoughts about the Korean culture. I was able to relate to some aspects, how they see the dramas, how they see the music, how the lifestyle of Koreans are. It's always been portrayed in some of these shows, and I even follow some celebrities on Instagram. And because of my curiosity, I stumbled on a page, the KCCN, which is the Korean Cultural Center Nigeria, and I was so excited that yes, I could actually belong to a community. So there is a community that caters for Korean lovers in Nigeria. Isn't that lovely? So great. You know, sometimes it's been a journey of a loner. You just know that personally, or few people around you know that you are a Korean fan, and then finally you get to know that there's a platform that brings everybody together across the nation. So from there I was able to find out that there's a program like the Korean influencer on YouTube, and this is how I could apply, and this is how I got to make this video. What I would like to learn more about the Korean culture, I would like to learn more about the language. I've started enrolling in some online classes that could assist me, and I'm even in intermediate class right now. I have some Korean language partner on Kakao Talk, on Hello Talk, and we've been helping each other correct and shape our language learning journey. They correct my Korean, and I also help in correcting their own English too, and it's been a mutual benefit. I would like to know about the Korea subway system. I would like to know more about the educational system in Korea. I would like to know more about the foreigners that are living in Korea. How have they found it? How is it like to be a foreigner in Korea? I would also like to ask some street questions like, why is the coffee, some cold or iced coffee, more expensive in Korea, and why Korea does not use chopsticks to eat rice and rather they prefer to use spoon. So I would like to know about the adventure. What do Koreans do when it's raining, when it's summer, when it's winter? I would like to know about the fashion and the beauty. The cosmetic industry in Korea is very large and is huge. How I plan to promote the Korean culture on my YouTube channel. First, I would like to pick a niche, my favorite part of the Korean culture, which is the food and the language. I like to create content around these two topics that aids to satisfy the curiosity of other Korean fans in Nigeria, even across the world outside of Korea, and how it feels like. And I would also like to make some food infusion, like putting some ingredients from Korean food and matching it with my native Nigerian food, and let's see how the outcome is going to be like. That's a kind of like a built-in new recipes. I would like to do some do-it-yourself videos about food preparations. I would like to make some videos about what people think if they have the chance to eat a Korean food. In the process of making content, I will make sure that the content are always original and it's very relatable to everyone that is watching it, because it has to be something that it covers around originality and people could see through it and even appreciate the content and where it's coming from. I would always try to make translations for when I make videos that are in Korean language with the few that I've learned. And I would like to also make collaboration with new and existing influencers that will help in pushing the Korean culture even to a wider and bigger audience. I would like to make videos on word on the street. People think of Korea, ask people what they feel about the Korean culture, if they've heard any of it before, if they've seen it or they've practiced it before, have they visited Korea before. I would like to get to know how much people in Nigeria knows Korean culture, and this will also help in putting a statistics on the kind of video to make next. I really look forward to the time where we have a Korean restaurant in Nigeria and to be able to try out all the foods that we see on TV. Taking advantage of the cultural differences, like for example in Nigeria, a man can sit and cross his leg in public and no one is going to look at him any differently. But in Korea, I learned that you don't, as a man, you don't cross your leg in public because it's considered rude. And there's this similarity also with the removing of shoes before you enter a home if you are visiting. So it's almost the same in Nigeria here. When you go to visit people in their house, you have to off your shoes before you enter into the main building. Consistency is key, and I planned to not burn out myself or even run out of content. So I already planned that I'm going to be uploading videos weekly to make it like a series. So stay consistent to a particular day. Let's say I chose a Saturdays to be uploading content so that audience and my viewers would know that new content are always up on the channel on Saturday. I plan to make food infusion, like I've mentioned earlier in the beginning of this video. I'm going to be trying some ingredients if made available and if I can easily access them to prepare some of Nigerian food and ask my friends, my family to try it out and give their comments, and this will help to even shape people views more around the Korean food and even be welcoming to it. So when we finally have a Korean restaurant in Nigeria, it will be like, yes, people will want to try something new. So stay tuned on my channel to see more about the Korean culture, to learn more, and even also to be in a community where you are recognized. So if you have learned any Korean culture, any Korean cultural differences, any of their sports, their food, the fashion, the beauty, music that you'd like to share with everybody, please do that in the comment section down below. I'd like to hear from you all, and yeah, see you in the next video. Peace. Bye.